Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for coming today. My name is Nurseit, and my speech will be about the video games. But before we start, I want to ask a simple question. How many of you have ever heard someone say that video games are just a waste of time? Okay. And when someone hears the word video games, they usually think of distraction, they think of addiction, they think of someone sitting alone in a dark room doing nothing but wasting his time. And to be fair, this fear does not come from nowhere. The World Health Organization defines gaming disorder as a pattern where a person prioritizes gaming over everything else in his life. But however, the organization also says that it only affects a small proportion of the gamers. The recent study shows that only 2 to 3% of gamers actually have this kind of disorder. In other words, the problem is real. However, the stereotype that all games are bad is just simply not true. And today, I'm gonna challenge this stereotype because for me, video games weren't something that isolated me. It was something that connected me to other people. To start with, when I was a freshman at the Kyrgyz University, it was hard for me to make friends. Working into a new environment and surrounded by new faces, it wasn't really easy for me because I wasn't the most talkative person in the room and probably not now either. But one simple moment changed everything for me. One day I saw how some of the students were playing the game that I really enjoyed. It was a fighting game. So for the first time I felt that I didn't need a perfect redaction. I didn't need to be the funniest person in the room. All I needed is just to come up and say, oh, you played it too? And this is how I made my first friends in the university. And I still talk to them, even after moving to Hong Kong. And I think the interesting part was that we became friends not because the games isolated us, but because they gave us a shared knowledge. They created a bridge for us before we had a personal confidence. And this is not true only for me. Study shows that games can actually help socially and awkward people and shy people to make connections and make another friends. And if you think about it, it does make sense because the video games can put aside the awkwardness of the social interaction. And instead of asking, oh, how do you make friends? You're given a common mission, a shared challenge, or just one simple moment of, oh, you played that too? And beyond the friendship, there's other benefits from the video games. For example, games, there's always need the strategy. You always track the objectives, you manage the resources, and you make decisions under pressure. And another question, have you guys played the games with the teamwork in it? Yeah, so you probably noticed it also helps with the friendship as well. You need to understand your own role, you need to rely on each other, and you build real connection as well. In addition, video games require decision making in real time because you're constantly adapting. If the opponent adapts, respond to it. But here, where the conversation needs a balance, because I'm not trying to say that video games are everything, because they're just simply not true. So the another question is the hobby harmful by its nature only when you lose the balance? When the games replace sleep, when they replace study, then they start to replace the growth. The life is too wide to live in just one world. So the lesson for me is that the gaming is actually bigger than gaming. So next time when someone says that video games are a waste of time, I will respond like this. A game is a place where friendship starts, where skill grows, but you need to remember just one thing. Play the game, and do not let the game play your life. Thank you.